Earlier on I was trying to get from the portrait mode to the landscape mode. It looks like I've managed to crack that problem. What I've done is I went to my phone settings, then I put my phone on to landscape mode. Then from there I locked it onto landscape mode. Then went to my YouTube channel and started my live from there. Now I'm going to keep this short because and in the house I haven't really worn in. I'm just keeping it short. Just it's very quick experimental video just to see if I could do it, and I seem to have managed it. I've solved that problem. So, and then now, so I've got to watch because I'll turn it around. I'll see if I could turn the camera around because I've got to watch what I'm filming here. Hang on. Yeah, it's doing that again. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Oops, doing it again. Yeah, so as I say, it's just a quick video just to see that I can do it. I'm not really going to stay on for any length of time. So that seems to have success. This is like the second time I've done a live. The very first time I done a live was about a couple of hours ago. This is just trying it again because I wasn't happy with the post. I'll just see if we could check charts. There doesn't seem to be anything on there, but I had a bit of issues with that. Some messages such as potential spam maybe not be visible. Live chat. Now I have to hit that. Yep, live chat's all visible. Yeah, I think it seems to have managed that. And just checking through. So yeah, just experimenting. This is just a simple experimental video. Oh yeah, I can. Oh, there's somebody watching. Oh hi, I'm not sure who it is that's watching, but I was live earlier on today for the first time a couple of hours ago, and I was doing a live in the portrait mode, and I didn't like it. I don't like doing portrait mode, so I managed to figure out how to do it in landscape. So I've now managed, so I've got the choice now. I could either do it in portrait or landscape. If you don't know, what I done is I went to my phone settings and set the screen to landscape. Then I locked it onto landscape. And then after I locked it onto landscape, I then went to, I'm not sure that the chat's working. Right. Hi. I don't want to name anybody, but I saw somebody just popped up. I'll just see if I can get the chat to work then. Live chat, all messages are visible. Well, it must be working because it's just read your chat came up on here anyway. It should be visible to you. Live chat, all messages are visible. Yeah, it should. Yeah, it should be working. Yeah. As I say, keeping this short because it's just an experiment. It's quite late. Well, obviously you know the time. Well, actually, it depends really, doesn't it? It depends on where you're watching it because this is World Wide Web, so you can be watching it from anywhere. I'm not quite sure. It's working now. It's just the first time messages. Higher. Yes, good. So it's working on your end. That's great. You're seeing the messages as well. My arms are getting sore. As I say, this is all new to me. I would maybe, for doing lives, I should have my oh yeah, it seems City Dundee. Yep. You're live and kicking, Chris. Oh, hi Starsky. Oh, thanks for your messages earlier on. Your comment, thank you. It's good that you're here. Keep me company here. Thank you very much for joining. I was just to say, this is just simply purely experimental. I've managed to get the camera to do the portrait in landscape. Now I've also I know if somebody, because there's other people in the house and they don't know if I haven't told them yet, but if they did, I could mute the microphone. So I'm getting the more it's true to say, the more you do something, the more practice you do something, the better you become at it. It's kind of like true, because the more you do it, the more familiar you become. And it's like that with lives and all this, the rest of the thing, you know. As I say, it's just a very short video, but it's shaking about because I'm holding the thing. No, I do have a tripod. I should have maybe set the, yeah, practice makes perfect, yeah. Yeah, it does, yeah. I should have put the tripod on the table there and gave my blooming arms a rest because I think maybe I should do that, but then I've got to watch because I like your Robertson's exploration. Yes. Well, I won't be doing it Robertson's again because, as you know, that's completely gone. Stuff like that, though, I was lucky to get in there because that was pretty much a year before it was burnt down. I was got inside and done the exploration on it, yeah, and planning on doing more of these things. If you could just bear with me for a second, I'm going to dig out the tripod because my arms are killing me. I'll maybe stay in for 10 or 15, 5 or 10 minutes, but my arms don't think could hold out that long. So I'm going to just, see, I don't know how to pause this, but what I'll do is I'll put the mute off for a minute. So I'll be back in about 2 minutes. I'll just go and get the tripod and set my table up. So I'm going to try this now. So I'll be coming back. I'll put that there. That's better. I'm trying not to. I've got to be careful because I haven't really set anything up for this. I hope they won't inadvertently knock the. Oh, here we go. Because this will give my arm a rest and it'll be a steadier picture. It would help if I'd tightened the. I'll probably end up falling. It'll be like a blooming. God, what am I doing now? I think it's out. Probably end up it's going to keep moving. I haven't really done this at all, rehearsed this at all, and just literally. What the heck's going on with this thing? It's the tripod and messing about with it. It keeps turning. I think that's better. Oh gosh, that's so much better now. Give my arms a rest. Yeah, the charts. It's got this tendency to move. It keeps. It's because I'm doing a live and I'm not really. It's something obvious, you know, why it's turning like this, but I don't want to upset the live. It's after midnight, I'm not really. So yeah, I'll be doing more of these explorations. It's okay, you weren't expecting this. Yeah, no, like the Robertsons. Yeah, as I say, I'm going to be. We were discussing about this places, abandoned villages, and abandoned buildings just a few weeks back, and I'm going to look into that. I've got a head torch and everything for going into dark buildings, but I would never go in these buildings alone. I would always make sure there was somebody with us, because if anything happens, you know, you've got to have somebody else, at least one other, with me. And because we're working at different times and that, you know, we've got to get time so that, you know, like he's working and working, and we've got to do it when we're able, you know, and that's not always easy. And then when I do have days off, we can be busy, you know. Like just the rats, yeah. Well, the Robertsons, see down in the basement, in there. It was pretty. I'll tell you the most scary. It's one of the most scariest places I've done an adventure in, and that was at the old Strathmartin Hospital. That was really. That was a scary place. That was really scary. I've done a video on that a couple of years back. We went in there in the small hours. It was pitch dark. Oh, I'll tell you, it was really spooky. That's on my channel, by the way. Can't remember what I titled it, but it's a way back. It was about 2 years ago. Exploring Strathmartin. Well, it's all gone now. I don't know if you know that Strathmartin Hospital, most of it has been demolished. They've kept some of the, I think it's A-listed buildings. The oldest ones, they're keeping them, and it looks like they're restoring them because they've got scaffolding right round it. But the other bits, the ones that were, because that hospital was always a target for arsonists, and there was always a lot of fires there, and some of the buildings were just beyond repair, I think. So they end up knocking a lot of the buildings. The majority of it is down, and it's not long in putting new houses up. Look at that one. Yeah, there was just too much damage, too many fires. But as I say, you go up there now, you wouldn't really recognise it. It doesn't take them long to throw buildings up. Yeah, I've been going for a while. I'm going 5 years. Enjoyed. When you got into High School just before it going forever. Yeah, I was lucky. I was very lucky to get in there. Very lucky. I got a lot of the footage of them demolishing Minisaw High School. It's sad that it's gone. The ground up there is still empty, by the way. There's still nothing built on Minisaw High School grounds. It's still just waste ground. It's a bit of a nature trail in its own right, because the grass is just grown up to ridiculous levels, and you get a lot of dog walkers and that there. It's just like a nature trail in its own right, yeah, but it's just waste ground. And it's the same with my old Hillside Primary. Oh, so yeah, Minisaw High School Square. I went there. You went to Minisaw as well? Because I went there from 1987 to 1992. I stayed until that's calm as moon. I stayed until 6th year. What's going on with this stand? Give me a second. Hang on a minute. This is going to be a bit boring for you. 1997 to 2001. Oh wow, that's quite a bit later from. I think what it is the camera. Because I've got it on a live, normally I do this in 2 seconds, but because I've got it on a live, it's a bit fair in case I knock the live off. So that's maybe better. Yeah, 1997 you went to that. So my young brother went there. He started 1992 and left in 1995 actually. What's going on with this thing? Sorry folks, and just blooming thing keeps turning. What it is, I've got it on this tripod, but I don't think there's something I've done wrong with the tripod, because the thing keeps on moving, keeps twirling round, and I don't want this thing just and unprepared as usual. I was sitting brilliantly until I just started. It's going to be you'll be getting dizzy. Stay. Oh, it's a balance now. I don't know. Whatever. I'll let it just a bit. Yeah, I mean, it's high school. I remember that's where I learned to swim in 1987. Yes, I remember at Minisaw High School there was a bit in the building. It was open, so you had the history block. There was history on the top floor. Well, right at the end of the history and geography block, there was the top. It was just open. It was like what would have been windows in the building. It was just open plain. I don't know. It was used for like an open air balcony for. I don't know. I used that. We went there for doing artwork. Missing floor. Miss Cairncross. Do you remember Miss Cairncross? She was my art teacher, and I had Mr. Harris as well. Yeah. So the library was always a separate bit. That was between the Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller. Yeah, remember Mr. Miller? Yeah. He was the headmaster when I was there. Yep, Mr. Miller. Jeez. Gosh. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Miss Gilchrist. Yeah. I miss the days, like, it was a different era altogether back then. It's just a different world, wasn't it? There was none of this social media. It was never heard of. Well, we never heard of it. I mean, let's get the football up there. Mr. Lee, the geography teacher. God, Mr. Lee. That's right. Yeah, I got Mr. Lee. Yeah, I got Mr. Riley for Harris. Harris. I had Mr. Riley for history. Oh gosh, no, what was it? I had Mr. Phillips for English, then Miss Leach. My favourite subject was physics. That was my strongest. I got a higher than that. I always liked physics. Got Mr. Cairns for physics. Miss Ross for science, first and second year. And then when I went third and fourth and fifth, I think it was Mr. Cairns, wasn't it? Mr. Light for history before he. Oh yeah. Mr. Phillips for English. Yep. Yeah. God. It's amazing actually. I was at technical at was it fourth or fifth year? I built. I built a book cabinet. And only just, last week, I was emptying this cupboard. I was just full of, a lot of rubbish in there. I had to tidy it up. So I got this whole cabinet that I built back in 1990 at the geography, and it's lasted. It was stored in there for ages. But I've only just recently started using it again, but it's been used to store old DVDs. Mostly one was yeah. Yeah, I heard the story of what happened there. Like, I heard rumours on the teacher, but yeah, it's all gone, That's it. Another bit of buildings. There's nothing up there now. It's all just waste ground. Like my old primary school, Hillside Primary. That's all gone as well. I was lucky enough to get in there as well before they. Wow, a cabinet. I made a trouble, and I still have it somewhere. I made a trouble. I dip coated it. It was all different colours. It was like the dip coat that I used. It reminded me of the hundreds and thousands you put on an ice cream cone. It was that sort of colour, dip coating. I had Mr. Hoskins for my first year. First year for technical. He used to do this trick. If you had the metal rulers, you would go like that, and you had to move your hand before you hit it. It was like, you couldn't do that nowadays. Health and safety. Yeah, a lot of my pals were at Hillside. My sister. Oh yeah, same as Gilby Hill. So yeah, that's gone as well. Gilby Hill's completely gone. I never went there. Obviously, I don't know. I just went to the two schools. It was there's only one building that's remained since my childhood. Well, I was born in Nine Wells Hospital. That's still in use. But then I was living in Fintry Cheviot Crescent since I was born till I was 5. That old house is gone. 20 Cheviot Crescent. That building, that was knocked down in 1995. And I was lucky enough to get in that as well, just before it was knocked down. St Ninians is still going. Yeah, it's still. But my nursery that I went to, Fintry Nursery, I went there when I was 3, up to I think 1980. So I was 2. I was either 2 or 3. I was 3 years old, so I was in there for 2 years. That building actually closed down for a long time, and it just reopened recently. So at least it's still up. It's not long. Sorry, I didn't quite. I'm just going back to that chat. I just saw something flashing up there on the chat that I was going to answer, but I don't know how we could get that again. Damn, it came up, it flashed. Oh, there we go. St. Ian's still good, yeah. That's St. Ian's no line. Yeah, they don't look my age. Oh, thanks, good. Yeah, I try and look younger. Oh, it's always good to look younger. You know what's ironic? I kid you not, right? You won't believe it. Oh, you will. I could show you a picture, but my mate will vouch for that. When I was in first year, right? When I was quite big for my age anyway, so that always, even when I was at primary, I was the tallest in my year and that. And when I went to Minnesota High School, there was another guy. He was really big as well, and he thought I was in sixth year. I had a moustache. I kid you not, I did, and they thought he thought I was in at least fourth or fifth year. I had a moustache when I was in. I was only I'd have been 12 because it was August 87 when I started. 1987 August. I went to Minnesota High School as a first year, and my mate, he was in first year. Well, who would now then become my mate. He was massive, still is, and he thought that, I was big for me, and he really thought that I was a fourth year. Couldn't believe it. But it's funny that you say I don't look my age now, because back then a lot of people used to ask me to go and to get them cigarettes or drinks, drink. Oh, could you go and get us this drink? Could you get us a beer? I'd walk past the shops and they would ask me to go in and get. I'd never done it. Like, you go into the shop for a carry. This carry it. Yeah, probably. Yeah, well, I used to get a lot. Just looking at the. See, that's comfortable. I've got a big screen. I can see what's happening to a degree. Oh, I've got someone else joining. Thank you for joining. Whoever's joined in, and I've managed to suss out a little bit of landscape. That portrait thing was just doing my head, and I hate portrait. Everybody's carry it. Yeah, everybody. My thing is though, in retrospect, you look back at it, but if I got caught, buying stuff, because I had problems getting on the bus. They would think I was an adult. I had to get a bus pass, and that's what I could have shown you. I've got a picture of me when I was 13 at that time with a moustache. You wouldn't think so. It's just funny when you said I look younger from age, which is good, thank you. I used to stand outside the shops in Spade Drive. Asking, Spade Drive shops, yeah. Spade Drive, that's it. Yeah, I know ones, yeah. You'll maybe remember the Chinese takeaway. Peter, the Chinese takeaway, the shops at Spade Drive. He did a good. Yeah, he was a good. Yeah, he was really good. Good food out there. He was friendly. He was there for years and years, and then he moved to Lochie Road, the Chinese takeaway at Lochie Road. Him and his wife, I think. Wee Pete, remember? Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, that was years ago now. But yeah, I've not been back there since. But that was going back way before. But I haven't been back I haven't been in there. Well, he moved, and then other people moved in, but I've not been back since. Yeah, Peter was good. His son was. Aye. Yeah, he was friendly. He also done like chipper food as well. He was doing Chinese food, but he also done. Because I remember getting fish cake suppers over there, and they were good. So he was sort of like a Chinese takeaway and a chippy, So it was good, the stuff he did. But the best chippy mean sells the silvery tea. That is just stuff like there is good. Just recently they changed. Was Benny in the silvery tea. I think he moved to Hamish's in Fifey. Chippy at the Fifey going on for 25 minutes. It was only a short video, but no, I can see he's coming on. It's good that you're joining me. I haven't told anyone the household, and then I'm doing a line just in my room, so you might hear something because I don't know that I'm filming. I just literally put this on as an experience. Not as good as aye. Silver tea. Yeah, that's the Chinese takeaway next door. It is really, you get good food out there. it was a Chinese takeaway. Then it changed to something like what you would get like a buffet. There was like the food was in a it was like a noodle bar for a bit. Then it went back to being a Chinese takeaway. So you get a lot out of that Chinese takeaway. You get a really good filling meal out of there. The other one, the Janta, you might remember that. They'll be thinking you're talking. Oh yeah, probably will be. No, well, no, that's right. No, it's called the China pot. Yeah, the kind that everybody was. Oh wow, I know who you are. Just run the coach and like this, bra. You need to come up. Aye, all right. You know who? Yeah, yeah. I'll maybe try that. It's somebody I know very well. I appreciate you as well. I know this one. I just don't want to name anybody yet because I'm not sure how he is because you don't know each other. I don't know if you could see each other on the chat. You probably will. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that sometime. It's bra. Yeah, I'll have to come up sometime. Definitely. Definitely we try that sometime. Hi. How you doing? Yes, it's great you're joining me. It's amazing. It's funny that I was only going to put this on for a couple of minutes, and then I started seeing more and more people coming on, but it's good that I managed to get the landscape mode because the portrait mode was just it was like that. It was just wasn't happy with it. I didn't like it at all. You know, it was just. I remember the good old days of video drive-through. Yeah, I remember that. I went. Yeah, that's right. Yep, there was. Before that, it was the car repair garage, alleys. That whole building was a garage, car accessory. Yeah, video drive-through. Yeah. Landscape's definitely better. You're right. Long shot. I love that. Portrait thing was just. I don't like it. Yeah, that was a car accessory shop, but the whole building, and then they started dividing it up. Alice, that's it. Yeah, I used to go there in the mid-80s because we used to have a paraffin heater, and we got the paraffin. You don't get them nowadays, but a paraffin heater is, I don't know if you remember, but let's be health and safety, the fumes and carbon monoxide and that, but they were built for houses like, apart from you used to get, because we didn't have a lot, still don't have a lot of money, but we didn't have much money back then either. Yeah, I used to get, my dad had an old Allegro, Austin Allegro. We were never out of there getting parts for it. Allegros had the reputation of breaking down, and my dad's broke down a lot, an awful lot. But I was very young in the 80s. I was a kid, and that's what kind of got me interested. Because my dad, he fixed cars. He was an electrician for trade, but he done a lot of engineering stuff. He fixed a lot of, done lots of homers. He fixed cars and everything. And I always used to like watching him repair cars. I've got a model of an Austin Lego, but I'm fair to move in case I bump I could show you it, but. It means I've got to move this table. I'm frightened in case I knock it. I'll go and get that model, but if this thing falls, just forgive me. I'll go and show you a model. It means I'm going to have to reset all the. I'll show you a model of Austin Allegro that I've got. My old pal Russell used to live. Russell, yeah, Russell. I remember Russell. Aye, I mind that. Russell's mum. He stayed with his mum. We'll be bringing back. With the cost of yeah, I know the cost of living is absolutely scandalous. So I'm going to get that model. So if this falls, I probably will, and do my best not to bump it. I'll be back. Oh gosh, I've got to remember. I need to and then a bit of a mess. Hang on, excuse me a minute. While I'm up here, I might as well show you the bigger car model as well. This is where I'll probably end up dropping the blooming. Now, I'm kind of like sliding into view because I'm not really well presented dress wise, and it's just, I knew it. blooming you not as the wire. So you've got the phone on charge at the same time. Right. I'll move this a bit closer because you might not hear. Just the right. This is a model of the. It is dusty, but I've got text coming up as well. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I remember Russell. Yeah, we used to play football with. Well, you know, we were just. We used to have a wee kick around with the football at the backs. Just. Yeah, I was just thinking of something. That's the Allegro. Austin Allegro. This is the one in 76 model. No, it's not really. See, I can't really zoom in and out of it, but that charts have gone off. Hang on. I don't know what's happened there. I might come back on again and just trying to. What's happened? I don't know. It seems to fade in and out, but that's the. It's a Mark 1 Allegro. The Austin Allegros used to have the square Quartet steering wheels. The other model I've got is it's the bigger size. This is the current car that I own. It's the Skoda Octavia. I've done a video on this actually. It goes into a lot of good detail. The only thing is it's a left-hand drive model, but it's got a lot of detail. The steering wheel's got suspension, actually works on it. Well, you won't see that on there, but the steering turns as well. You know, it shows all goes into a lot of good detail, like the fuel tank. It's got a multi-link suspension as well. It's not the live trailing arm. It's multi-link suspension and independent suspension. The front is McPherson struts as well. That's pretty standard for a lot of front-wheel drive cars. I had difficulty. You might remember in my earlier videos. Well, no, just before Christmas actually, January this year. My car didn't have any silencers on it because this bit here sheared off just before the mid silencer, and the hot gases were coming out near the petrol tank. I didn't like the thought of that, so I got it removed from there. So they only had catalytic converter 1, catalytic converter 2, and there was no silencers. That was omitted, and it was really, really loud, and it sounded great, you know. But it's back on now. But that section, all that exhaust section from there to the tailpipe, costs us over £600. It's a stainless steel exhaust on my real car. Obviously, this is the model, but on the real one, it cost me over £600 to get that, because it's a non-aftermarket part. And it's very difficult to get as an aftermarket part anyway, because in manufacture the exhaust is fitted in one piece and the suspension components go over it. So it's not like you go to a garage where they're being made in sections where they could just take it, unclip it there and unbolt it there, and you get that section in place. You have to cut it and then you've got to weld it on because this is one piece. You see, it doesn't have any joins in it. It's made as one bit. It cost me 600 odd quid. The guy had to, it came in 3 bits, like, because you managed to source a bit. You had this section, that section there, and the tail bit, and he had to put it on in two, in sections and weld it together. I think it was somewhere, because obviously he didn't want to take the whole suspension out and then just join it on, to this bit. This is all original part, but all that's dear. But this section, the catalytic converter, will be quite expensive, but they're still original. So it comes with the turbochargers and the catalytic converter 1. And it's the petrol TSI engine. But yeah, the garage along there was a very we were there a lot for bits from my dad's car, and I say I used to walk along and get paraffin for the paraffin heater. That brings back memories, I'll tell you. You know, oh gosh, I've even got. But this is just a smaller model. But my dad had before that he had a Morris 1000 Traveller. It was a G-Reg 1968, and he scrapped that because I think it was somebody with the kingpins in. There was just things wrong with it, and then he ended up getting the Allegro, and that was just a. I kept breaking down a lot, but I learned a lot about cars from watching my dad repairing cars. So, but yeah, a lot of things in Minnesota have changed. I can't see the charts, by the way. It's kind of going off. I don't know what's happening. Here we go. Yeah, getting something now. And sort of going back. Did your dad's Allegro have Cortex steering wheel? Yes, it did. Mum had a wee orange Allegro 1977. So that's okay. Yeah, my dad's was the original Mark 1. Yeah, you saw the video of that. Yeah, I done a video on the Octavia. What's my dream car? You wouldn't believe it, really. You probably just be bored, but the dream car was actually at one time. It's funny. It's a Volvo S80, and before that in the 90s, me and my mates used to stand there and blather away and say we're all on about cars. And my favourite back then was a Volvo 460, but it's partly because it's just a bog standard car. I mean, a lot of people would think it'd be like a Ferrari or top of the range Rolls Royce or something, but no, that was just the basic, you know. But to get a car like that, no, I could get a Volvo 460, it'd be a classic. I could get a Volvo S80 fairly cheap, but it would be the running of it would be expensive because Volvo parts is a premium model, and it will be quite expensive to get parts for a Volvo car. But the dream car, because you know all these fancy cars like Rolls Royces and that. No, I used to just Rolls Royce, you know, but no, it doesn't really do much for me. It doesn't even look that good, no. No. Oh yeah, smart. Don't get me wrong, it's impressive car, yeah, but no, I'd probably just be settled for a Volvo S80 top of the range. That'd be my dream car. The car I've got actually, no, you know, that's I get sentimental towards cars. I do, but you know, I can't get from A to B no matter what. But I get attached to them. Probably just happy with the car that I've got. You know, it does the same job. A car will get you from A to B like any other. Maybe a bit slower, but you can get ahead. You just get stuck in traffic, and then you're only just a few cars up ahead. You know? That's more of a statement, really, isn't it? You get a top of the range. I mean, I like cars. I like racing. I've done banger racing. I had a shot of doing banger racing. If you don't know what that is, it's a form of stock car racing, and it basically means stock cars, as in the normal road-going cars. And what they do is for the banger formula. It's just old heaps of scrap, basically. Cars that are just, you know, ready for the scrapyard. And they take them around the circuit. You may have seen, you probably saw my videos. They go around a quarter-mile oval, and they just go around and crash into each other, hence the name, bangers. And they do it with some speed, not just wee small speed. I'm talking about you get the 50, 60 mile an hour impacts. I was on the back straight down in, 2010. No, 2011 it was. Something flashed off there. I went on, I got hit. It was the banger car. The car I was driving was an Astra, a Mark III Astra. It was 1.6. And, there we go. Yeah, that's right. I was doing well built, but yeah, well built. Volvo's not Grandis. Yeah, I was always old fashioned. Yeah, Grandis cars. I was always old fashioned. Still am. Need to watch the bangers in Kildenbeath. Yeah, you should. It's really good. It's great. They do it at Lochgelly Raceway as well. I was always old school. I mean, even when I was at this, you know, when I was at school, I liked old fashioned. Not old fashioned, but bog standard. Like, because the Volvo's got a neat shape to it. It's a sort of no nonsense car. It looks tidy. You know, all the flashy cars. I mean, I like cars in general anyway, vehicles in general. So, yeah, but and more a kind of. I like the no-nonsense cars, but tidy, elegant-looking cars. And the there's a neighbour across. And see, I don't disclose exactly where I'm living, so I've got to be careful. I don't want to give away where I'm living. I just say that I live in Minas Hill, but I don't want to publicise where I live. So I've got to watch what I'm saying. But because it's obviously this is anybody can see this at any time. But someone I lived next to back in the 90s had a Volvo 460, and I used to just always look at it, admire it. I actually took a picture of it because back then, by the way, there wasn't no camera phones. You had to get I've still got it, it's Olympus Plus. I photographed it as because you only had 36 things on it, so they were valuable. It was more of a bigger issue. I mean, nowadays you can photograph anything. But yeah, the Volvo is a nice car. The banger racing at Kilgenbeath, it's worth going. I did have a shot at doing banger racing, but as I say, I had a nasty one. The car I was driving just let me down, and I was stuck in the back straight. I was down at Ipswich, that one, and the other car bangers. There was two. One went down one side of me, one went down the other, and it was three actually, going down three abreast. Mine's conked out at the end of the back straight, so I got a full pelt, 60 mile an hour, walloped right into the back, and the car was halved. If you imagine it, the back of the car was pushed into about there. I've got pictures of it. It was a massive hit, and it kind of shoot me off. I didn't do it again after that, but I did at least stay out of shot. It was great fun before. The first time I done it at London, actually, but I done not too bad, actually. I done alright. I got a medal for it. I've got the medal tucked away in there. I know where it is, but I'm not digging it just now. But I haven't got my name engraved in it, but I do have the pictures. And I think the last year that, I went into the corners, and there was a stationary banger against the wall, and I crashed into there, mine somersault, and I went round like that. Yeah, it was just a massive hit. But when you're in the crashes like that, it happens fraction of a second. You can't really remember it. You can't. It happens too quick. Even just if you have your tongue between your teeth, you'll break your tongue. The whole impact. It's just like, it's hard to describe it. It's like I don't know. It was like almost like you've been knocked out. It's just sort of happens so fast, because it's a split second crash, But these guys, I mean, I had a shot of it and done it. I done it. Well, first 2006, I had an unofficial shot of a banger. I done it again in 2007. I actually won. That's why I got the medal. Done it in 2010. Done in London at the Wimbledon. I done all right for the first time. It was good. It was early because I went with a company called Cecil's Rental Bangers, and they built the banger for us. I've got all the pictures. I think I was probably the only one from Scotland. They took play. That's probably why they ran the car. No, they're all good fun. It was good fun. But no, never again. When you get older, I was thinking more what could go wrong, what could happen. I wouldn't do it now. If I break anything, could be off work for ages. And it's not just that. I'm not getting any younger. I start thinking more. I say no. I've seen the things that could go wrong, and you start thinking about the younger guys that do it. I think you've got to be really, brave to do that. You see the impacts of going in banger racing. If you watch Unlimited Bangers, I'll tell you, it's really exciting. But yeah, it's just amazing, how they could do these impacts and they just come away and it's scary. I like the good old box shaped cigar. Yeah, Reynolds 19. My uncle had a Reynolds 19, I think. I was at the Reynolds. No, it wasn't. It was a. Gosh, what was it now? It was a Reynolds. I can't remember. It was a Reynolds, I think, something like that. Rang a bell when I saw that. Yeah, it is. It's scary, but it's good fun though. But closest I've been is go-kart racing. Yeah, go-karting's better. I mean, it took me actually when I done the banger racing. and then I only had a shot. I didn't do it much. I only had a few shots. I had a shot in 2006, 2007, 2010, and 2011. 2011 was when I got that really bad crash. That was it. That was enough. Never again. I had a shots, and within these years, that was it. But I've always wanted to try it. I tried it, and I think what could happen. What could have went wrong. What was it? What was it I say there? Oh gosh, it's getting late. There's something that's just gone right in my head. I'll come back to this hopefully. Go-karting, yeah. After I'd been in that crash at the Bangor Racing, when I went back on go-karting to have shots of it, I always still had the flashbacks of getting smacked, crashed at the back. I was always wary of what was behind us. They get the flashbacks, because I don't really like, I'm nothing like a veteran of it. But there's veteran racers that do it all the time. It'll be like another day at the office for them guys. And I've seen bangers that burst into flames and everything, It's just mental. Scotland has 3 stock car circuits, 3 main ones. There's one up in Crimmond Raceways up between Peterhead and Fraserburgh, right on it's nicknamed the North Pole because it's the most northerly stock car circuit. And that's typical, is it? Empty. It's the most northerly stock car circuit in the UK. Closest I've been, go-karts is great fun. They do them at Knockhill as well. Knockhill's an island, but they sometimes have done stock cars there, but not very often. And when it was stock cars, it was never really the bangers. It was the pro stocks, which is like a class down from Bangor Racing. Bangor Racing is a full-on, intentional crash. You get head-on collisions. It's just nuts. Pro stocks is more like an entry level where they could sort of nudge and spin cars. But there's a technique that you've got to do it right, because I've watched the Bangor Racing for 20 years and I've seen cars do the nudge and spin, and if they get it wrong, they end up spinning themselves up, so they're racing it. This is going to look not bad to use as an example, but if you're racing the nudge and spin, okay, this is completely off scale, right, but this is just to give you an idea. So they're racing really close, but the nudge and spin, the car that's passing will knock the tail, because it's got a tail, it'll cause it to spin wrong, but they've got to do it right, execute the move so they don't spin themselves out as well, and I've seen that happen many times. So it's the technique of spinning the car out in front and getting in front of the race, and that's the stock car racing. Pro stocks is ordinary road going cars, just again it's just like your normal heaps of scrap, but they tend not to destroy them, whereas in the Bangor Racing they destroy them. They do caravan. I've seen bus banger racing, I've seen bus and lorries, I've seen lorries. This is through all of the gears, like I've seen lorries and buses. I was in 2006 down at Hedensford Hills. I've travelled the whole of the UK to follow that hobby. Caravan bangers, I've seen that. I've seen lots of that. I've seen transit van bangers. I've seen micro bangers. I've seen limousines, unlimited bangers, Jaguars, Daimlers, all cars. Pre-68 bangers, where the cars that enter the Bangor Racing have got to be built before 1968, and that was in 2004. I don't quite know if they still do that. F1 crashes. Just imagine what an F1 crash would off. Yeah, that an F1 you wouldn't even. I don't think you'd walk away from those ones, like, because they go super. Your F1 car, you're about. You're talking hundreds of million. In the bangers, you'll get about. Depends. An unlimited banger, you might get 65, because they keep them in second gear. You see, so they just redline them in second. So much safety. Bangor racing is like racing in a tin can. Yeah, exactly, because it is. It's just your ordinary car. All they do in the banger race is the cars that enter the bangers, they take out the glass. And they take up the seats and leave the driver's seat, and they put up a bar along one side, along the roof and down the arc, and that's it. They relocate the petrol. Well, they're putting in a solid tank inside for the petrol tank, and they only put a gallon in. Well, very little, and it's tucked tight. They have a kill switch, so it cuts off the fuel in an event of a fire, and it cuts the ignition off as well, because some of the injection pump will still be running. So they've got to cut the power off to that and cut the fuel being squirted into the engine during the fire. But that's in the bangers. That depends on how prepared it is. Some of the more prepared bangers will have more done to it, but the entry level for destruction derbies, I've seen it. I remember in Crimond 2004, I even left the seats in it. All I done is just planned the windows in and went into the destruction derby, you know. So you were just driving the car in as it was and just smashing it to smithereens. I've got pictures of that. But they do have an element of safety. What they've done is they folded the seats right down, or the passenger seat right down. So it's an escape route to get in, and also for anybody to get in to get the driver out should they get knocked out. They had a harness as well as a seat belt, you know, and that was it. That was about your lot. They don't strengthen the bangers up in any way. They just keep them as a standard car. They're not allowed to reinforce them. The ones that they do reinforce are the actual stock saloons, but they have a full armour right round the car, so they could take the crashes into the walls. Some of them are built from scratch, and that's where it gets expensive, but that's a different formula. So my favourite formula is the bangers, just the tin cans. They just fold up, and I've got some impressive footage on videos of the bangers and that. I've even made my own videos. I've matched the videos to get some kind of effects on some of the videos with my bangers, the banger videos of edited in a sort of way of added effects and music to it. I just did that off my own imagination because it's how I sort of see it, like, you know, I try and relay that what I'm thinking on my videos when I do these things. With the car headlights, you know, I've got like a series where you can see the car headlights, especially when they're aiming, you know, because cars, they have a sort of, if you're looking at them at an angle, it's still like it's fixed point. Zoom in, you know, it's the design cars from the whole design of the car, it doesn't, it's designed with the thought, no matter what angle you look at it, it's going to be designed so you see it in a certain way, no matter how it's looked on, in all different light conditions, all different angles. You know, the designers have it every single aspect. So if you see it like this or like that or like that, and the more expensive cars will have more refinements made to it. It's the way you interpret what you're seeing. I think it's, if you look at the front, usually certain cars, if you're coming to a junction, they'll give you the impression that it's going quicker. It'll give you the impression that it might just be doing the same speed, but if you get the small cars with the round headlights, more bug-eyed lights, just round, it seems like it's moving slower. But if you, maybe you're like an Audi, it's got a sharp tail light that gives you the impression that it's moving faster. And if you see it in the rear view mirror, you think it's sharper, it's closer, it's like it's moving right, you know, right for you. Because there's a lot of psychology that would go into the designing of a car, because a lot of people will buy it for many different various reasons, not necessarily just to get from A to B, but there's a lot of moral shaping. I mean, how much, you see, like nowadays, you look at a small car now, right, like a Nissan Micra, that actually weighs more. Well, I'll tell you the one, there's a Fiat Punto, it's quite a small car, it's class B car, and that's even bigger than what the medium-sized family cars are like in the 70s. The Austin Allegro is shorter than what it's actually, well, yeah, it's shorter than the Fiesta. The Ford Fiesta is, today's Ford Fiestas are bigger than the medium-sized cars of the 70s and 80s. And when you see